Hi everybody, welcome back to Laurie's Ghost Stories. Tonight's episode, we journey deep into the dark forests of British Columbia, where ancient legends still whisper through the trees. Grab your blanket, dim the lights, and join me as we explore stories of Sasquatch. Deep in the coastal forests of British Columbia, where cedar trees rise like cathedral pillars and fog drifts silently between the mountains, stories have been passed down for generations about something ancient watching from the wilderness. Some call it Sasquatch. Others refuse to say its name out loud. The old logging roads north of Port Alberni have a reputation among truckers. Radios suddenly fill with silence and static, and campfires go deadly quiet. Dogs would refuse to leave the trucks after sunset. Most people laughed it off as stories meant for tourists, but not everyone. One October evening, a wildlife photographer named Claire drove deep into the forest hoping to capture footage of black bears before winter. Rain tapped steadily against her windshield of her old SUV, and she followed the muddy service road into the mountains. The deeper she went, the thicker the fog became. By the time she reached the abandoned logging camp, darkness had already fallen across the valley. The place looked frozen in time. Rusting fuel barrels sat beside collapsed cabins, and moss swallowed old machinery. Wind was groaning through the broken boards somewhere in the distance. Claire parked near a clearing, and she began to set up her gear. The forest around her was unnervingly quiet. No owls, no insects, not even the sound of rain hitting the leaves. Just silence. And then came the knock. 3 heavy thuds echoed somewhere deep in the trees. Thud, thud, thud. Claire froze. She listened carefully, waiting for another sound, maybe a fallen branch or some other campers. But then it came again, closer this time. Thud, thud, thud. The sound was deliberate, rhythmic, like someone striking a tree with enormous force. Her flashlight swept across the tree line. Nothing. She tried to laugh it off, though her stomach tightened with unease. Locals often spoke about wood knocks connected to Sasquatch sightings, strange signals exchanged through the forest. Claire didn't believe any of it, at least not yet. She retreated into her vehicle and began reviewing the footage from the day. Rain continued falling softly outside while the fog rolled through the clearing like smoke. And then something moved beyond her headlights, a shape, tall, much taller than any bear. It crossed slowly between the trees and about 50 yards away. Claire grabbed her camera and aimed through the windshield, her hands trembling as she zoomed in. For a split second, the figure stopped. Even through the grainy darkness, she could see the broad shoulders covered in dark reddish hair. His long arms hung nearly to its knees. Its eyes reflected pale amber in the headlights. And then it stepped behind the cedar tree and vanished. Claire bolted out of her SUV, with her flashlight in her hand and her heart pounding. "Hello," she shouted. No answer, only rain. She moved cautiously towards the trees, camera recording, the mud squelching beneath her boots as the forest swallowed the light behind her. Then she smelled it. It was a powerful odor, like wet earth mixed with something rotten. Every instinct told her to turn back, but curiosity pushed her deeper. A sudden crack echoed somewhere ahead, not a branch falling, a footstep, heavy, massive. Claire swung the flashlight towards the sound. At first she only saw the fog, and then 2 towering shapes emerged silently between the trees. Not 1, but 2. They stood motionless at the edge of the light. One was enormous, nearly 8 feet tall, its chest broad as a doorway. The smaller one remained partially hidden behind it. Claire couldn't breathe. The larger figure tilted its head silently, studying her with an intelligence that felt almost disturbing. Neither creature made a sound. Then from somewhere high on the mountainside, another wood knocking echoed through the valley. Instantly, both figures turned towards the sound and disappeared into the darkness with impossible speed. Claire stumbled backwards and ran all the way to her SUV. Her hands shook so badly they nearly dropped the keys. She slammed the door shut and something struck her on the side of the vehicle. Bang! The entire SUV rocked violently. Claire screamed and hit the locks. Outside the windows, enormous footprints pressed slowly into the mud beside the truck. One, then another. She started the engine and sped down the logging road as the rain hammered on her windshield. In her rearview mirror, she caught one final glimpse towards the silhouette standing silently in the fog, watching and waiting. Claire never returned to that valley. Weeks later, she reviewed the footage frame by frame. she found something strange hidden in the background of one of the clips. Near the tree behind the abandoned camp stood a smaller figure, perfectly still, its eyes reflecting. To this day, communities and longtime wilderness workers across British Columbia continue sharing stories of encounters deep within the forests, stories of giant footprints, strange cries in the night, and something ancient moving silently between the trees. Maybe Sasquatch or folklore, or maybe the forests of British Columbia are not as empty as we think. Thanks for joining me tonight on Laurie's Ghost Stories. If you enjoyed this journey into the mysteries of British Columbia and the legends of Sasquatch, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep watching the shadows.